Hello friends, Archangel with CryptoAngel here. As you may have seen, Shytoshi put out a new blog article on blog.shibaswap.com entitled Supreme Arts for Trying Times. So we're going to go ahead and do a full read through of that right now. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Sun Tzu. What is Shib? It can be argued by many what exactly Shib is, but everyone should remember that Ryoshi said it best. Shib is an experiment in decentralization. Our, or Shib's, experience is unique because we set out to surpass Doge in market cap, and did. We set out to build an amazing DeFi platform that gives bone holders the ability to vote on a variety of projects, and we did. We set out to have Shib be accepted worldwide as a viable currency, and it is. We watched Shib become utilized to slow the COVID pandemic in India, and then watched leftover funds be redistributed to do more good through our friend VB. In my humble opinion, this proves that when you view the world as a platform in which a token can interact, you see how such a unique asset, in fact some could call it a money or commodity, and likewise powerful brand, could redefine decentralization. Yet, and still, many questions remain about why Shib has taken the path it has, which includes our own ecosystem centered around a series of tokens, blockchain, DeFi platform, NFTs, stable token, metaverse, hot clothing capsules, ultra quality food chain, and collectible card games. Through this set of articles, I hope to shed some light on the thought process, friends we've made along the way, and why I believe our experiment has a bright future on a global and digital scale. Before we discuss how we will change the world, let's do a quick recap of world events since we last spoke. Yes, it's a doozy. These last 2 years have been insane. No other way to put it. Lockdowns and COVID. Yes, I had it, the alpha variant. You've seen the memes for high gas, and to top it all off, if that wasn't enough, what may become a world war. Quickly here, let me say that the various ongoing wars in the world, including Ukraine, Ethiopia, and Israel, to name just a few, have created humanitarian crises that deserve your support if you have the financial means. I believe this is a personal matter, but that you should support nonprofits that have a dedicated track record in helping these war-torn areas. The Red Cross comes to mind as one that is trusted. If it's not the war, it's the possibility of supply chain disruptions, bird flu, another wave of pandemic, more lockdowns, earthquakes in diverse places, and of course, inflation. I'm not an expert, but I enjoy history enough to know that it doesn't take much for the delicate balance of our modern world to be thrown away. For many, this will generate fear. Others may read on with hope. Why? Because I also know that during times of incredible fear, turmoil, economic collapse, and what the masses would call a SHTF scenarios, millionaires are made. In fact, in the past, during, before, and after these unique moments in history, many millionaires are made because they have traditionally used these downturns to their advantage. In no way am I expecting a downturn for Shib. Quite the contrary, most economists are expecting the factors mentioned above to create a downturn for in real-life businesses. Stocks, and a rise in prices, which is no surprise, but a new world to emerge from the ashes like a phoenix of Shibtastic proportions. Still, the question remains, how exactly do the rich get richer in these down times? I've asked myself this for months, and have done a decent amount of research to come to the following opinionated conclusion. History shows repeatedly that the wealthy invest in safe haven assets like gold, real estate, art, and food to beat inflation. It would also seem they invest in strong businesses and brands that outlive the turmoil, and this explains why in such a young country such as the USA, there are still many businesses that are well over 100 years old. But that was decades ago. How would the ultra-rich come out on top if an SHTF now in the current world? Let's go a bit deeper. History is a cycle you can adjust. Well, again, only in my humble opinion, they'd do the exact same thing, but with a twist. Since real estate is tricky right now, look at empty malls as an example, and with the advent of new digital currencies that have already been cleared to be useful ways to transfer assets, even in places like Ukraine and Russia when banks go down. The new way of doing business becomes clear as day, and it can mean that a new wave of investors will find themselves hodling new asset classes. And this is exactly what we are seeing. Be it from the CEOs of the Southeast Asia's largest bank saying that Bitcoin and crypto is an alternative to gold, or Paris Hilton holding a very expensive NFT. We've seen those in power diversifying into the space of which we are a major player. That brings me to the next conundrum. How could a top 20 cryptocurrency align itself with these trends to stay ahead, relevant, and provide value? Shib, 4D Chess Viewpoint. In my honest opinion, an increase in value comes from the massive continual long-term burns and/or an increase in holders utilizing the token and/or an increase in brand recognition, which in turn increases holders. With this in mind, each partnership has been carefully handpicked to reach different markets, different pieces necessary for true adoption, while working with the best companies that offer us expertise and distribution on a worldwide scale. In this way, we align in these arenas and achieve the 4D goal of winning this FUD entanglement. Let's look at the products again closely. Currency. In a recession or depression, some forms of money, often not money, but instead a fiat currency, go figure, face inflation, deflation, or hyperinflation, while other forms of currency such as gold increase or maintain relative value. We've already seen this. In Shib, this would be the equivalent to the trio of tokens that interact to give us the backbone needed to have a truly decentralized universe. Shib, Leash for exclusivity, and Bone for voting. These forms of digital money are available and provide Shibians the ability to interact and grow within the ecosystem. Real estate. Real estate is another core asset class that we've seen affect the outcomes of brands that survived and thrived during or after depressions. One that comes to mind is Marriott, which started as a root beer stand and grew after the Great Depression. In the new Shib universe, digital real estate would supplement the real estate we've seen rise in value and cost these past few years. We've also seen these locations be the perfect place for games, stories, food, and fun. Furthermore, as a nexus for commerce and conversation, the Shiboshis will take this concept to the next level. Food. Quite a few brands from the Great Depression of the 1920s emerged and flourished. Gallo Wind is a great example of one that shines of an example of being a startup in the startling times. For us, quality food combined with enterprising strategies provides yet another wonderful example of rethinking business and decentralization to allow Shib to grow beyond what anyone could imagine. Art. Wish I had an original Norman Rockwell, but since I live in the greatest art renaissance possibly ever, NFTs, I can use a minimal investment to hold an incredible piece of art just the same. Best of all, there is art available from multiple artists and even collectibles that influence and reflect the other aspects of the ecosystems they reside in. New models of business and ways to compensate smart contractors are being deployed before our eyes. Fashion. As a bonus, it's important to note that the successful wanted to showcase their success via extravagant clothing and posh parties. In today's term, we would call this the ultimate flex. In the new world, our NFT items and the rarity associated therein provide the perfect example of rethinking an exclusive product. In fact, by making fashion more than just what you wear, but instead an asset in digital form, we align with the tried and true trends in hot fashion. For instance, that high-end purse you purchased will retain value far into the future. No different than a Swiss watch. These assets then confer exclusivity, but also do much more. So back to Shib. What does all of this have to do with Shib? Ryoshi is a genius. Well, in my very humble opinion, and only my opinion as another holder, Ryoshi created more than a meme and more than a token. He created a decentralized digital commodity. Why? How? And what makes it different than other tokens? Glad you asked. Many tokens on the market are inherently designed, meaning within their code, to burn during transactions. Others are centralized. Some burn to wallets on every transaction, but not Shib. It burns through community efforts. Therefore, the first burn and designation of this trait of the Shib commodity was to VB, the first burn wallet. I am pretty sure Ryoshi never expected VB to even notice Shib, and therefore it was dead. But even VB months later utilized and confirmed this burning trait by burning billions of dollars worth of Shib after utilizing Shib to make one of the largest donations in history. Scammers utilize this burn trait to scam and create all types of schemes. Luckily for Shib, legit burn strategies exist, and for core Shib products and projects, each will have burns inherent. However, it cannot be underestimated how useful and important this trait is. As we've explained many times, we can't just burn a large part of the supply. We simply don't own the Shib to do so. If we are going to generate and maintain large burns of Shib, we will have to generate and maintain large streams of revenue by companies that agree to burn Shib in large quantities. This requires a lot of Shib army members to really consider the best ways to extract value, or burns, from and for Shib, just like making wine from grapes. While the projects and products emerged quickly, others will take longer to create, and vet is legitimate, but each adds to the second thing that makes Shib grow in value. Long-term goal, total wallet saturation. The goal of any enterprise is world domination. Be it the New World Order or any ancient civilization, if you aren't reaching for total dominance, you aren't reaching hard enough. I specifically admire companies in Japan with 100-year or longer business plans. It is with the heart of this concept I write that to reach total Shib wallet saturation and the desirable results therein, we have to focus on a final point, which is growing brands and having our own location to enjoy life. Recap. Now you understand why Shib has this larger-than-life plan to dominate various genres and business segments, to have Shib as a brand and ecosystem rule while providing value and burns back to the community. As this series of articles continues, I'll go into granular details on why each component, Shib, Leash, Bone, Shibarium, Shibaswap, Shiboshis, the Shibers, the Shib collectible card game and playside, Shib Fashion with John Richmond, Shib Food, Wellies, and Shiba ? are all aligned and will work in tandem to shed light during these dark days. We've reached the end of the blog article. With that, Archangel out.